Hello, and welcome to this session of guided mindfulness, awareness, and compassion meditation. What we're going to do today is a combination, a sequence of practices. Hang on one second. There we go. It's a sequence of practices that lead us from mindfulness to awareness to connection with others and kindness and compassion meditation. So to begin with, we start by taking a good posture. Excuse me. We're going to be working with our breath. So it's helpful to have a posture in which we can breathe easily without forcing it, without trying to breathe a particular way. And so that means sitting up with our back straight but not rigid, and the rest of our body as relaxed as possible. So you can think of the way that canvas hangs from a tent pole before the tent is pulled out. That's how you want to think of your body hanging from your spinal column, from the top of your head down to your tailbone. You don't have to think of that as a tent pole, so stiff and rigid, but upright. And if we let our chin float up like this, we get spaced out. If we dip down and we get sleepy. So the idea is literally sitting up as if you were paying attention. If you feel the back of your head extending upward, gently upward, what happens is your chin naturally comes in. I'll turn sideways so you can see that. We often sit kind of like this, and so if we sit up, we're still a little bit forward, but if we have the back of our head extending up, see how the chin comes in naturally. So that's what we want. That's the feeling that we want, rather than pulling it in and getting tight. Your legs can be loosely crossed in front of you or flat on the floor if you're in a chair, about hip width apart. The important thing is for your knees to not be higher than your hips. If they are, it puts a strain on your legs and lower back. So I have long legs, so I cross them gently in front of me, whatever's most stable for you. Let your arms hang straight down from your shoulders. Leave the elbows where they are and swivel your hands up so that they're palm down on each respective thigh. They'll probably end up just a little bit behind your knees. We're going to relax our jaw, but we don't want our mouth just hanging open. So you want your lips to be just barely touching or slightly parted, as if you were saying, ah. We're going to start with our eyes closed, but then open them for the rest of the practice. So to begin with, let your eyes gently close and be aware of your body. We tend to be very much in our heads, and it's like we're up here directing our body, but we're not really inhabiting it. So we're going to start from the ground up. You can wiggle your toes a little bit, roll your ankles a little bit, and just activate, feel your feet, your ankles, flex and relax your calf muscles. There's a shin muscle. You're not aware of it until sometimes you get a cramp, and then, oh, you're very aware of it. So activate those muscles. Knees, thighs, hamstrings, quads. hips, pelvis, lower back, deep belly, up to your rib cage and your torso. We often are so front oriented. We feel like we almost become two-dimensional. So as you breathe in, really feel how your rib cage expands, not just side to side, but front and back. Feel your width that way. Inhabit the whole width, depth of your body. Up to your upper back, shoulder blades and shoulders, your arms, stretch them out, wiggle your fingers, and then bring them back to your posture. Neck, move your head around on your neck and feel your scalp, feel your jaw. Now we're fully embodied. So now we want to clear away the unnecessary tension. We do that by scanning with our awareness. And in the same way as when the sun rises and the sun's rays land on snowflakes on a leaf, that just the light touching them melts them. Let your awareness melt whatever tension you have that you don't need to hold your posture. We need some to hold our posture, but let it melt whatever it touches, as much as it will, and feel like it's kind of flowing down and out of you and into the earth. So your scalp, forehead, eyes, ears, cheekbones, back of your head, your jaw. Very often that tension we collected in our jaw. If it feels a little stubborn, you can try this. Just clench your jaw for a couple of seconds and then just let go. Don't intentionally drop, just let go. Neck and shoulders. Feel how your head balances on your neck and shoulders. And any tension you have in there, again, if you feel it and it just seems resistant, or we gather a lot in our shoulders. Sometimes we walk around as if our shoulders are by our ears, and we think they're relaxed. So clench your shoulders, lift them up, let them drop. Don't push them down, just let them drop. Now that's just the tension let go. It's not that they roll forward. There's a little tension holding the posture, holding them back a tiny bit, but nothing more than that necessary. Collarbone, shoulder blades, upper arms, chest, upper back. Aware of the whole depth of your body. Let the tension melt without losing your posture. Rib cage, solar plexus, rib cage all around. Stomach, lower back, and deep belly. Again, there's a little tension in the lower back that we use to hold our posture. And this is an interesting experience. It translates into our deep belly, so we're clenching a little bit there. Find the balance where you use a little tension in your lower back to hold your posture, but let your deep belly relax. Let it soften. Imagine your breath is coming in and out of your deep belly from all directions, all around, into you from all directions, breathing out in all directions. It's an interesting experience to give you that three-dimensional quality to your body. Down to your hips and pelvis. Let the tension flow down and out. Thighs, hamstrings and quads. Forearms and hands. Tension flowing down and out. Knees, calves and shins, ankles and feet. So we fully inhabited our body, cleared away the unnecessary tension. But there's still a tendency to think that our minds are behind our foreheads. We're up here running our body down there. We're going to let our minds drop down into our body. It's the same feeling as just falling back into a big easy chair or soft sofa. Let your mind fall back and down. Back and down behind your throat. Let it settle down back behind your heart and chest. Back behind your solar plexus and stomach. Down past your navel, a few inches below in the deep core of your torso, just in front of your spine. You can feel the movement. Again, imagine the breath coming in and out from there. Your awareness in your deep core of your torso. This is the feeling we're going to come back to. Breathing deep in our core. As the gong fades, let your eyes gently open about halfway. You're looking down below your eyelids, just a few feet in front of you, but not looking at something particular. It's as if you're just looking at the space that you're sitting in and your body sitting in that space. And the first object of our attention is that feeling deep in our core of filling as the breath comes in, emptying as the breath goes out. So we hold the background awareness of our posture and put our attention on our core, feeling the breath fill and empty. If you find your mind wandering off into a daydream, when you realize that your awareness is no longer there with your breath in your core, just smile, because the mind does wander. And think, and you can even mark it, punctuate it with a label saying, oh, that was wandering or thinking or daydreaming. Back to the core. It's not that we started drifting off into the past or the future and then have to come back to the present. The present is where we always are. Those daydreams of the past or future or elsewhere are overlays on top of the natural state. Presence, mind and body synchronized with the breath. So we'll do that for a couple of minutes. If your eyes closed and you got sleepy or drifted way off into a long daydream, when you realize it, you may realize your posture kind of degraded, slumped a little bit. At that moment, take a fresh start. Reinvigorate your posture. Take a nice full breath, and then just drop down back into the core, breathing in and out from your core. In from all directions, out to all directions, filling and emptying. As the gong fades, just let go of the practice. Move around a little bit and refresh yourself. In the Buddhist tradition I was taught in, one of the recommendations is several short sessions is a good way to practice. Sometimes it's good to do a long extended one, but very often short session, refresh, and take a fresh start. So reconnect with your posture. And this time, look out, eyes open, aware of the space, the whole space that you're sitting in. As much as you can, a sense of 360 degrees around. And this practice is a decentralizing practice. A practice in which we're connecting more with the out-breath. So as the breath goes out into space, what actually happens, it goes out from us, and mainly breathe through your nostrils, out. And as the breath goes out, it mixes with the atmosphere, it dissolves into the atmosphere. It doesn't just cease to exist. The molecules of your breath mix with the molecules of the atmosphere in the room. In the same way, open up your mind to the space of the environment. So join with the breath. As the breath goes out, let your consciousness, your awareness, go out with the breath so you're not so focused on me, on this, and open up to that. The breath goes out into the atmosphere, your mind opens up into the space. And again, the sense of 360-degree as best you can, opening up your awareness to the full space that you're sitting in. Out, dissolve, and just rest there. Let the body breathe in by itself. I promise it will. Out, dissolve, rest. We'll do that for a few minutes. Again, if your mind wanders off into daydreams, when you realize that you were caught up in those, just smile, because the mind does wander. Come back and reinvigorate your posture. And then as the breath goes out, open to the space and rest. Out, open, and rest. If your field of vision starts to get funny in some way, you may be looking too tightly, too focused at a spot. Just soften your gaze. Relax your eyes. Relax your facial muscles. Let your eyes open up to the big space, the same as your mind is opening up to the space. As the gong fades, take a little break, reinvigorate your posture. Now we're going to do a little contemplative meditation of sense perceptions. So connect with your posture, eyes wide open. And again, open up your panoramic vision. Open the peripheral vision, seeing as far to each side, above and below as you can, and open awareness of the full field of your vision. Notice, and you can, without moving your eyes, you can move your awareness around your field of vision, but notice different colors, shapes, and shades of light and dark. Colors, shapes, shades of light and dark. If a name or label comes to mind, that's okay. No need to elaborate on it. Just let that happen. And reflect briefly on the question, where am I seeing all these things? Am I seeing them out there, or am I seeing them in my mind? Now you can leave your eyes open, but shift your attention to your hearing. Again, 360 degrees. Listen for sounds around you, in all directions as far as you can hear. Sounds far and near, high and low pitch, loud or soft. Listen for sounds. And reflect on the question, am I hearing sounds out there? Or am I hearing sounds in my mind? Again, you can leave your eyes open, but tune into bodily sensations. The cloth or skin under your hands. Your posture, areas of aching, tension. Your body moving as the breath goes in and out. Air cool and dry coming in your nostrils, warm and moist going out. You might even be able to feel your pulse in your chest or fingertips, wrists or neck. Reflect on the question, am I feeling those in those parts of my body, or am I feeling in my mind? Now again, you can leave your eyes open. Watch for the next thought that arises, thought that appears for you. Watch as thoughts appear, dwell for a moment, disappear, and watch for the next thought to arise. Reflect on the question, are my thoughts the same or different than my mind? As the gong fades, move a little bit to take a fresh start. And now we'll do the kindness practice. I hope those questions were interesting. We can discuss them afterwards. Kindness and compassion are based on a feeling of equality between oneself and others, that they deserve happiness just as much as I deserve happiness, that they deserve freedom from suffering just as much as I deserve freedom from suffering, which kind of goes against the grain a little bit of how most people operate. So we take away the me first attitude and add an all in this together attitude. The ground of that is letting go of self-centeredness. We do that by taking a full breath in, and as we breathe out, open our awareness in all directions, out to the sky, out beyond the sky into space, out beyond the farthest star. Open that far in all directions and rest for a moment in that infinite openness. From within that space, think of someone you care about, a loved one or more, friends or family, and know that just like you, they desire happiness and freedom from suffering. And imagine that as you breathe in, you can take away their suffering. As you breathe out, radiate out and give them happiness. It comes out to them like cool moonlight, soothing their suffering and making them feel light, happiness, ease. You can take away from them dis-ease or disease and radiate out healthiness to them. Not thinking of yourself, just wishing for them to be free from suffering and the causes of suffering, and sending them happiness and the causes of happiness. As best you can, expand beyond your loved ones. Include them and everyone you know. All in the same boat. Imagine taking away all of their unhappiness and suffering. Breathe out to them peace, health, and happiness. And as best you can, expand that to include all beings, all creatures, great and small. If you'd like, you can focus especially on those going through terrible suffering. In Ukraine, in Africa, everywhere in the world where there's war, famine, disasters, plenty of material to work with. Breathe in. Imagine that you're taking away all of the suffering and angst and sending out peace, health, and happiness in all directions, 360 degrees. As the gong fades, you can let go of the visualization. Just ground yourself again, drop into your core. Let the breath go in and out from all directions for a few breaths. As the gong fades, relax and bring to mind the intention that we have. Ideally, we start the practice with this intention. We do the compassion and kindness practice. And then at the end, we reflect and say that we did this practice so that we can better be of benefit to others. So you can repeat after me or use your own words. May the practice I've just done be of benefit to others as well as myself. And if you want to cultivate generosity or are feeling it and want to cultivate it even more, think, may the practice I have just done be of even more benefit to others than to myself. So thank you for your kind attention for this session on mindfulness, awareness, kindness, and compassion practice. Now everyone can unmute. You can go ahead and do that. Some discussion. If you have questions, comments.
Joe?
That was my lovely waiting meditation. Yes. Pierre?
I found this very relaxing and very enjoyable. My dog also, you wiped her out. She's done.
My voice sometimes tends to do that. I had friends who had a little baby that couldn't sleep, and they would invite me to come over and tell the baby my life story. And I didn't get much past, I was born in, and they were, it's my voice. We'll do that. So Tim wrote, I've heard it said that certain times are more auspicious or beneficial for meditation. Times like dawn, dusk, or noontime give an extra boost to the meditation practice. I haven't been following. What do you think about that? Well, first, as long as that extra boost is in order to be of more benefit to others, then that's great. And of course, if you believe that those are more auspicious times, then yes, it will have more power. It reminds me of one of my Tibetan teachers, wonderful teacher, came and there was a rainbow. And everybody was going, ooh, that's so auspicious that we had that rainbow while we were listening to your teaching. And he said, yes, it's very auspicious. But keep in mind that we Tibetans, we also think if it's raining, we say, oh, that's auspicious. That's the rain of blessings. And then if we see the sun, we say, oh, that's very auspicious. That's the light of wisdom. So we can find something auspicious in most any situation. So with a sense of humor, yes. Now, it is said that dusk, times of transitions, can also be times of challenge. So, for example, when there are practices, meditations, particularly directed to protecting one's mind from obstacles or distractions, that's often done at dusk because that's kind of when we go from light to dark. So it's symbolic as well. But that's a good question. Thank you. Did people have thoughts on the what I asked you to reflect on of where you were experiencing things?
Joe,
Fred?
I'm like Pierre's dog. I tend to fall asleep during meditation,
Yes.
guided meditations or meditations that I just are just my own little sit silently meditations. Should I worry about that or should I not worry? And that gets me in some relaxed state.
Well, first of all, don't worry. But be aware that there's where that comes from. First of all, if you're really tired, that can be the case. But we tend to be so busy in our minds that the contrast, when we don't have to do anything, it's almost like the contrast makes us sleepy. The other thing is, if you think about it, when in your usual day to day and day to night experience, are you just not having to do anything but relax? Well, it's when you go to bed. So your system is going, well, let's see, we're not doing anything. We just have to be with our breathing. So it must be kind of bedtime. Out you go. When I first started meditation, it didn't take, I was out in no time. The idea is when you realize it, have a sense of humor about it. Don't fight it particularly. But again, it can also be a symptom of getting a little slumped in your posture. And so invigorate. In the Tibetan meditation manuals, they actually say, open a window, get some cold, fresh air and splash some cold water on your face. Refresh yourself. But again, anytime you feel that, reconnect with your posture, move around a little bit, and wake yourself up and open your eyes a little wider. So I hope that will help.
Thank you.
Now, I promised I remembered, this is a kind of meditation on the go that you might find helpful. And I find it really helpful when I work with juniors and teaching them. So we can do this together it just takes a minute. Put your hand out in front of your chest, palm, and if your right hand, whatever your dominant hand is, put the other one out in front of your chest. So I've got my left hand out in front of my chest, palm toward me, and put your index finger pointing away, and put kind of the middle of your index finger against the outside of your left wrist, of your wrist. Okay, and as you breathe in, run your hand up along the little finger, pause, and slowly exhale. Pause at the base, inhale regular speed, pause, and slowly exhale. And watch your hand as you're doing it. Inhale, slowly exhale, inhale, pause, slowly exhale to the inside of your thumb. Inhale, and slowly exhale down to the wrist, other direction. Inhale along the thumb, pause, slowly exhale. Inhale, slowly exhale. Inhale, slowly exhale. Inhale, slowly exhale. And down to the base. And then you can switch hands. We won't do it right now, but you switch hands and do it the other direction. And just notice, oh, hang on one second. I was notified that my computer will go to sleep if I don't turn the power on. So it occupies your breathing, your eyes, because you're watching, the feeling of and movement of one hand, the feeling of sensation, And the insides between our fingers are very sensitive. We don't feel them very, very often. So there's sensation, there's movement, there's eyes. How busy was your mind while you were doing that? Not a lot of thoughts for most people. And people may have noticed it really drops down kind of right around here on the way back. There's a kind of dropping down and relaxation. So it's very helpful to do both directions that way. And you can do it in any situation while you're waiting. I know there's some golfers on here. If there's a group in front of you putting on the green, instead of yelling out, how much is that one for? $10,000? Because they're taking so long, you can just relax and go, oh, this is an opportunity for me to do my hand meditation practice. And before you know it, oh, they're off the green. So somebody's probably telling you, hey, it's your turn. So lots of opportunities to do that. And the other thing that I want to remind people is there's always an opportunity to express the kindness and compassion. You know, if you're driving in your car and you pass an accident, or you have to wait for an accident, instead of saying, oh gosh, this traffic's crazy, just think, oh, this is an opportunity to do compassion practice. Those poor people that got in an accident, I know what it feels like, and it's not pleasant. So you can identify with the feeling and say, I wish for them to reduce their anxiety and sometimes pain if they got hurt, and wish them well and wish them happiness. Now, one of the practices I do is if somebody's speeding and weaving in and out of traffic, you know, at first my thought is, boy, I hope they get a ticket. That'll actually be beneficial for other people. It'll be safe. But then I think, okay, you know, all right, maybe they're late for their tea time. Okay, I'm gonna, and if you're not a golfer, you know, maybe they just found out that their wife is in the hospital or their kid got hurt or something like that. So you give them the benefit of the doubt. And so if we can always give other people, give an inch, give them the benefit of the doubt. Don't need things to be your way so much. Everybody will be happier, you and everybody else. So thank you so much for your attention. It's wonderful to be able to practice with you. I'm not sure what the October schedule will be, so please check your emails and we'll send you the day and the times for October. And Jenny, it's so nice to see you again. Jenny from the UK. Couldn't do it on the other days that we were doing it. So.
Thank you. Yes, I was looking after my grandson, so it didn't quite work out for me. So I appreciate the change. Thank you.
You were expressing kindness, so that's.
I was.
Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Lovely.